What's up guys, edrone here, and today we're going to be switching the guts from this Martian 2 frame into my new TBS Source One frame. Stay tuned. First thing we're going to do is cut off all these zip ties. I got two holding on this HD camera mount. I've got one holding on the VTX, and I have one holding on the receiver. And I have one more small zip tie holding up some wires so they're not laying on the flight controller. So yeah, this frame here is shot. So we're going to be taking everything out of this frame today. And next thing we're going to do is take the propellers off. That way it's going to be a lot easier to move all this over. And make sure you use a nice propeller tool like this right here. Thank you, Chris Justice. You're my pal. And gotta love having this propeller wrench. Makes it so much easier. And there we go. Now we need to cut all this electrical tape off these ESCs. So we're going to cut right on the bottom. We're going to slice all this tape off. And that way they will be free. We're going to pull everything off this build. Get all this tape off. Okay. Now we can get ready to remove the top plate. We need to go ahead and get our nut driver here. Go ahead and remove these screws. And once we remove the top plate, we'll be able to see a lot better. And there we are. Now, you can see right here in the back, that is where it cracked. It cracked all the way across, and it's barely hanging on there. The whole back end of the frame is really about ready to just break off. So you can see this frame is shot. Now, we're going to pull the camera out. We're going to pull the VTX out, the receiver, and all the antenna wires and the 4 motors. And we're going to pull all this out into one big stack. We're going to separate the camera. Look at that. She's seen some grass duty there. Go ahead and wipe this off. Sure, it'll come clean. Oh yeah. If your camera don't have grass on it, you're not flying right. Alright, now we can go ahead and get our receiver pulled out. And all we're going to do... Oh, first we can pull the buzzer out. Now we can get to the receiver. Now we have the buzzer moved. And we're going to pull the wires right through the antenna straws. And luckily this receiver has a 3-pin connector. It can just be unplugged and it pulls right out. There you go, XM Plus out of the way. Go ahead and disconnect our Strix Hoot antenna. Thanks Josh Withrow for that. Go ahead and push the VTX through with the SMA connector. And now we have all the loose pieces disconnected. Now it's time to go ahead and remove the motor screws and the 4 screws holding on the stack so we can lift the entire stack, ESCs, wires, motors, the whole thing, all the internals, and we're going to lift that right off. And these come right out. That's why I use blue Loctite. Go ahead and hold off the standoffs with a needle nose and unscrew. And there you go. Screws pop right out. You lift the whole entire stack up with the ESCs and the wires and the motors. I actually have tree bark stuck in this motor. Take a look. Yeah, you can see she took quite a hit, man. She hit that tree like head on and did that Martian 2 frame in. But here we go. We've got the internals pulled out and gutted out of this Martian 2 frame. See that? Now it's all left is an empty shell. And you can see, man, she just split right down the back. And with enough pressure, which wouldn't take much, you could just crack that back plate right off. So she's done for. This frame is only going to be used for hardware pretty much. We're going to pull all the hardware out, and I'll have some spares. But other than that, she's shot. Take a look at the internals here. We're going to have to do a little bit of soldering. Some of the wires did come undone. This is a piece that I was waiting for to kind of complete this build as far as tidying up some of the wires. This is from Brain 3D. Check them out online. They do TPU 3D printed items for a reasonable price. I'll put a link down in the description. For this item is for the TBS Source One frame. You can choose any kind of colors you want. Brain 3D, check them out. There's their website, email, all that good stuff. They actually have a frequency chart on the back, also very handy in case you want to carry this out in the field. But yeah, Brain 3D. And they also, so here's the piece right here. It actually holds your SMA connector at a, I think it's like a 45-degree angle, and it holds your 2 receiver antennas, and it clips right on the back standoffs, slides right down, nice and tight, and then you can see there's the connectors for all your antennas, and they come out in a nice 45, and it keeps them out of the props as well. And they also threw in a couple of XT60 covers here, a red and a green for hot and not. And they give you a nice Brain 3D sticker. So here you go. Here's the frame, the TBS Source One, and she is ready to accept her new guts, so to speak. So we're just going to lay the stack in here in the correct orientation with the arrow facing the front of the flight controller. Go ahead and lay all the wires, motors. I'm going to use some Loctite and tighten these motors down. Little sneak peek, I do have a powertrain upgrade coming to this drone. We have some new motors coming in. Go ahead and wipe off this Loctite. But for now, we're going to go ahead and use these E-Maxes until the new ones come in. And we'll go ahead and install our 3D connector here on the back for our antennas and clean up all these wires in the back. This just pushes down on the standoffs, and it is a very tight fit, which is good, and it keeps it out of the props. So you just feed your receiver wires right through the holes there, and it actually keeps them lower than the prop line and at a nice 45-degree angle, which is very nice. Go ahead and take the receiver, and we're going to zip tie this receiver down after we plug it in. Go ahead and plug in the 3-pin. Make sure we have it plugged in the right way. And then I love this frame. It has a lot of mounting options. You can see here it's got tons of holes and cavities for zip ties. Go ahead and snip that off, and there you go. The receiver is mounted. Then we're going to feed our straws through the antennas, and it is a very tight fit for the straws, which I like. You can see, there you go. She is ready to bash as far as the receiver is concerned. Now we're going to go ahead and screw in the 4 screws to tighten up the stack. And we got the antenna installed now. You see, just screwed right in with a VTX. Very clean. I love the way this looks. Low profile. Got the ESCs zip tied down, as well as some double-sided sticky tape underneath. Here is the FPV transmitter, and we're going to zip tie that to the top. Go ahead and need to install the camera. It does have a second mount to fix and lock in your position. I'm not going to be using that. I like to be able to kind of move it and adjust it on the fly. So we're just going to use 2 screws. Just plugs right in, and it kind of fits like the Martian 2. It just kind of slides in with these 2 pieces on the top and the bottom. You can see that's what it looks like. And I like it. It's tucked back pretty decent. It gives you a fair amount of protection. You can see, look at the prop line here. Look at the space in between the prop and the frame. I like how much space they actually give you between the standoff and the prop. Very nice. So you can see that's what it looks like. Pretty much all assembled. All the guts are in there. ESC's zip tied down. All I need to do is put the props on, and this thing's going to be ready to fly. We're going to be taking this out for a flight this Sunday with some of my good buddies, Josh and Chris. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. More videos to come. And till next time, edrone out.